split of the Godrej family. But tell you what, we are joined by H P Ranina, the lawyer of Supreme Court, and Ajay Asher, who's a senior partner at Crawford Bayley and Company. Gentlemen, welcome to ET Now. Well, first I'll come to you, Mr. Asher. Tell us that the Godrej family has sealed the deal to amicably split the 127-year-old conglomerate. Now, the Godrej family has termed the split as an ownership realignment. How will the split better align ownership in acknowledgement to the fact, there have been differing visions for the Godrej family members?
No, I'm sure under the circumstances, they have aligned it in a manner that no future disputes arise. Everybody is either happy or unhappy on the alignment. And two, because we have slightly complex securities law as also income tax law, the alignment which they would have done is keeping in mind all the facts and circumstances as also the law of the land, so that the least possible disruption happens between the family members, between the operations, between the third parties as well. So to my mind, if at all the person who has got control of a particular property, as long as he is the majority shareholder and is able to pass all the ordinary resolutions and all the special resolutions, presuming that the other party would have less than 25% shareholding in case of an unlisted entity, the settlement should work so that there is no future dispute, future confusion, future bickerings as well.
Right. Coming to you, Mr. Ranina, then, what does this mean for the stakeholders in terms of long-term value generation?
Well, normally in a split, there is always an unlocking of shareholder value. So I think one of the reasons why they've undergone the split is that each group will be better off financially, and the stakeholders, the public shareholders and the listed companies will certainly get a better value. That is normally the rationale for a split. And hopefully in this case also it will work out. I'm sure that this is something which stakeholders will welcome, because they will get better value, the valuations will improve, and each one will be able to operate on his own and come up with a consensus decision. So there's no difference of opinion. And this always helps in the long run. So my own view is that the split is in the interest of the Godrej family as well as the stakeholders. And if it is carried on in the right spirit, which I'm sure it will be, then certainly everybody will stand to gain.
Absolutely. Staying with you, Mr. Ranina, while Adi Godrej and his brother Nadir will be keeping the Godrej Industries that have almost 5 listed firms, and his cousin Jamshyd and Smita will be getting the unlisted Godrej and Boys and its affiliates and a land bank including the prime properties in Mumbai. What are the regulatory approvals to be obtained in order for the realignment to come through then?
Well, the regulatory approvals will be gone through, because when there is when the properties are split, obviously you have to register in the name of each of those companies. So there may be stamp duty implications, registration implications, and generally all these will have to be gone through. I'm sure they have factored in the costs involved, both the legal costs as well as the financial costs when they make a split of these assets. So certainly there will be certain consequences, financial consequences, and they have been factored in every split. So this will go through and they will have to bear the costs. And obviously there will be some disputes in that, and valuations. This is normally the problem which we find whenever these type of splits take place. There is some difference of opinion as far as valuations go with the authorities, and that may lead to litigation. So this is all something which you have to take it in the normal course when you undergo a split.
Right, coming to you, Mr. Asher, Mr. Ranina very rightly pointed out that whenever there is a split, it usually it is to unlock value and to smoothen out the processes going forward that might arise due to any conflicting thought process that the two families might have. I want to ask you, it's also said that the new brand names of the company, the company will have new brand names. Should there be any companies coming post 6 years, what do you have to say to that? How are the investors likely to react to that? Because the brand name is an important part of the Godrej Industries, right?
That's correct. 6 years is good enough a time for anybody in case is starting a new operations to develop a new name. And it's a exercise and it's a process. So 6 years time, all parties concerned, including the operations, business guys and the owners, that look in next 6 years time, in case there is any plan to start a new business, a new brand name is developed simultaneously so that there is a seamless transition in that sense for any new businesses. So from a legal perspective, I'm sure it is well documented and there should not be any challenge. And from a business and the operations perspective, 6 years, they would have thought it appropriate to develop a new name or a new brand for the purpose of any new businesses.
Right. On that note, Mr. Ranina and Mr. Asher, thank you so much for joining us today with your viewpoints on the big Godrej split. Thank you so much for joining us, gentlemen.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.